Namaskar, welcome to Inside with Ashok Vyas, and today's show is very special as we are in the special month of January, and January is full of festivities. Some of them we have already observed, but now we are looking forward to 26th January, and that day also coincides with Vasant Panchami this year. And I have the pleasure of welcoming a brilliant group of Indian Americans to our studio. And when I said brilliant, to my right, Sanjeev was smiling. So let me first introduce Sanjeev ji. Namaste.
Namaste, Vyas.
And with him we have Anurag Kumar ji.
Namaste.
And we'll have more details about them down the line. But let me have the pleasure of also welcoming Dr. Avishek. Namaste, Dr.
Namaste.
Avishek. And also Sushant ji.
Namaste.
We will be talking about something which is relevant for all of us, and that is creative challenge. We, coming from India, have heard that creativity is our divine heritage. And artistically, all the major art forms of India, whether it is classical dance forms or singing, they were aimed at invoking or pleasing or getting in tune to the divine. And how divinity and digital technology go hand in hand in today's world as we look towards Bharat. So I'll begin by requesting Anurag ji, in terms of creative challenge of sustaining motivation. So even before that, we also recollect the words of Swami Vivekananda, that is, service and sacrifice are our national ideals. So professional success is one, and doing something for the community is another. How do you see that becomes an important part for you as an Indian American to give back?
So first of all, thank you Ashok ji, and thank you ITV Gold for inviting the Bajana team. So I have been in US for last 22 years, right? And everyone who comes here, they start working, they start their living, right? But after a few years, what I realized that I need to get engaged in the community. I need to give back into the community. And then I started looking for a organization which each part of from where I belongs to Bihar and Jharkhand. Then I found about the Bajana almost 12 years back. And from there on, the first day I went to an event, I was so connected and motivated. I started as a volunteer, then became treasurer, then I had opportunity to serve as a vice president and then president. So while this whole journey, when you start doing a small thing, you will start getting engaged more and more and more. You will start thinking, what can I do more to the community who is based in US and the community who is based in Bihar and Jharkhand. And we started many projects like how to help the people who is in US in terms of startups, in terms of whoever is our youth generation, how to connect them with the mentorship. In Bihar and Jharkhand as well, the similar kind of projects helping the students in Bihar and Jharkhand, helping the art and crafts made in Bihar and Jharkhand products. So you keep thinking and thinking how to help more to the community. And that really excites you. And the message I have is always you connect with the community organization, because that will really give you the fulfillment in your life, and you will really feel happy that you are doing, in addition to doing your job, you're doing something which is helping others.
So I think that is the key message which we want to share with all of you with the help of Anurag ji. And now I'll go to someone who grew up in America. He's a doctor, oncologist, and
Hematologist.
Hematologist. I wanted to pronounce it correctly. Hematologist. So being a doctor is very, very demanding and challenging, and anyone who has studied here or in India, they know how much grueling schedule they have during the residency or internship. And so once you start practicing, you have a lot of commitments. In addition to that, what is it, Avishek, Dr. Avishek, that inspires you to become a part of an organization where you get an opportunity to connect and give back to the community?
First of all, it's a pleasure to be here, Vyasji.
Thank you.
And secondly, being part of the Bihar and Jharkhand Association of North America, it's a matter of immense pride, because all of us as Indian Americans. It's a pleasure to be able to connect with the country and I guess the place of our ancestry. And by giving back through community projects and by engaging with the community, by helping people, by opening up sessions where we can mentor younger kids to go to medical school or embark in careers in IT, you really feel special, like you've accomplished something. And in fact, you've not only enriched the people that you've engaged with, but enrich yourselves as well, because sometimes just giving back just produces a great sense of well-being, and it really feels good.
It really feels good, and when you hear it on television, you enjoy listening to it. But some of you who have been to this or that occasion, you would know that ego also comes into play, and sometimes you have your individual aspirations as to you want to be recognized in this fashion, or you want to hold this position, or somebody ruffles you in a way that you don't like, and you stop going to that organization or that temple or whatever that center was. So I would request Sanjeev ji to dwell on this aspect where some people get discouraged. How to work as a member of team in the professional organization is different, and having that team spirit in not-for-profit organization different. Talk to us about your experience and thoughts.
Yeah, thanks, Vyasji, for inviting us today. So I've been working with non-profit organization as a volunteer for quite many years now. So working in a professional organizations, you have a different corporate ladders, right, which you follow, and you have a different way of professional demands, right? But when you're working for a non-profit organization, I'll tell you my personal experience. When I started working, and what I see myself now working and contributing towards the professional organization, it's totally different, totally changed my life as experience. Because when you work for a non-profit organization, we treat everybody as the same individual. You may be having somebody as a CEO of some organizations in his professional career. He's working with you in a non-profit, or somebody may be multi-millionaire or maybe billionaire who is working with you in a non-profit organization. And somebody may be financially or as a professional ladder in the corporate ladder below you, what you are working in your organization professionally. So what it tells, like, for everyone who is small to big, you have to treat everyone similar in the non-profit organization. So to working in a non-profit organization as a team, it's more tough than you work in a professional organization, because it's defined in professional organization. But in the non-profit organization, somebody is older than you. Let's say maybe 20 years older than you. He is let's say a regular volunteer, but I may be holding up some position in the the non-profit organization. But how do I talk to the team members, right, who may be senior to you? Like, let's say you are senior to me, right? But maybe I'm let's say I'm leading the organization. So how do I talk to you? Because it's a human being. It's everybody has their own, I would say, ego. And that's very natural, right? It's a human being, so people will have an ego. So how we make sure I can work with anyone who is junior to me, senior to me, in the same manner in the organization. That's the learning I have gained in past few years in the organizations. And there you see respect. Until unless you don't come along in the team, and if you are not able to respect within your team, how you will serve the community? Because as a professional, as a non-profit organization, you are the one who is running some kind of, let's say, charity work, cultural organization. How you are going to treat 3,000 members of that organizations, right? So best way is to do that. For me personally, it comes with the experience. I have learned from the experience. Initially, when I started, and what I see now, as I mentioned, it's totally different. It's changed my life.
Yeah. So I'll come back to you and we'll try to understand what he has learned with experience. But I appreciate him recognizing or accepting the possibility which I suggested, and I've seen myself some people being very active with the organization up to a certain stage, and then somebody comes and they hear something which is not pleasing to their ears, and then they go away. But Sushantji, your name also suggests that you must be a quiet person. I'm not sure whether that is true. You live up to your name or not. But you have been active with fashion industry also, which is very much about projecting something which may or may not have its roots in true human values. But there is creativity. And so talk to me about what you have learned being an Indian American, or at your home front, or from some inspiring role models from Bharat, who you feel are somewhere around you in spirit while you learn the art of working as an efficient member of a team and dealing with ego, as earlier Sanjeev was mentioning.
First of all, thank you so much, Vyasji, for inviting us. I think it's a pleasure to be here. I think what you said right. I think so. I have spent, I think majority of my time, I think, in the fashion industry, and it's not only with the fashion, also in the back end, and how all these fashion industry are being attached to, I think, back in our homeland. Because I think so these are all it's all dependent upon the vendors, which is basically part of the India, Bangladesh, Pakistan, China, and all those. So, but one thing which I just wanted to highlight here, because every corporate has a CSR, right? I think so, and that's what they try to see. Okay, how these all CSRs can be improvised, and how can we improve the life of the people, those who are involved in all these fashion. See, we know all these fashion pieces, right? But still, in the back of those stages, so we don't know how the people are been involved here, how they build it, basically how all those small things are being built. So I think we talked about, when we look into that back in India, and if you see there are many challenges there. I think so. One of the biggest challenge is the labor. Second is the water, because I think so in the fashion industry, I think even for small clothes and all, even for the jeans and all, I think there are a lot of water is being used, and those are being polluted and all. I think we have seen not only in India, I think even in the Bangladesh, there are a lot of pieces we have seen. So I think those things, I think sometimes it motivated me, okay, hey, what I can do when staying here, and can I help back in India? And as you know, I think since I belong to Bajana, I think Bihar, which is, I think, known for many of these textile industry. I think one point of time when I used to be there, so आपको पता होगा शायद, I think Bhagalpur का रेशम, that's, I think, the tasar, that's a very famous. I think so. Even today also, I think there are so many textile and the loom industry is there. I think now, I think people are trying to revive them, but in the, I think, past it has gone down. I think almost, I think they were dying almost. But now, अभी देखिए हम लोग का कोशिश ये हो रहा है बजाना का, the whole initiative is that we are trying to see how can we bring those people back in the forefront. I think that's what I think. So, as Anurag ji said earlier, I think so हम लोग का कोशिश ये है कि बिहार और झारखंड के जितने भी वहाँ के handicrafts, I think we are trying to bring them, how that can be bring the forefront. So what we are trying to do is that, okay, so if they are building any small tokens, I think for any specific occasions, we are trying to see, okay, can we bring it back in the US? And we have seen, I think we have tried, and like we had a joint effort with the Biharika, I think, in even the Jharkhand also. So what they're doing, all those handicraft and handloom products, I think, so which again, I think the part of the fashion industry also, again, I would say, we are trying to bring it, okay, how those can be sold in US, and the people are literally, if you see, उनके जो हाथों की जो इसमें कशिश है पूरी है वो, people literally they are being astonished, okay, ऐसा भी होता है. I think that's what. So whole with the bajana and all, and that's what we are trying to see. Okay, how can we bring those all our handloom industry, the textile industries, all
very well said, Sushant, and what I hear from you gives me a lot of ideas. So I'll come back to you, but I want to go to Anurag ji. Anurag ji, with bajana वाइस प्रेसिडेंट के रूप में आपने बहुत सारे अचीवमेंट्स में कुछ आपने किया है, स्टार्टअप्स के साथ में भी आपने काम किया. इसके अलावा आपने ऑटोमेशन ऑफ इनवॉइसिंग का भी कुछ काम करने में सफलता पाई, तो एक सेंस ऑफ फुलफिलमेंट होता है कोई काम अच्छे से हो पाए तो। पर जो बात अभी हम सुन रहे थे सुशांत जी से, then you have to probably streamline, like if you are a president or vice president of the company of the organization like Bajana, तो कितनी सारी चीज़ें जो आप कर सकते हो, तो आपको प्रायोरिटी सेट करनी पड़ती होगी कि भाई ये करें पहले, या उसके लिए भी डिस्कशंस होते होंगे, उसमें भी अगेन वो ईगो वाली बात भी आती होगी। सो टॉक टू मी लिटिल बिट अबाउट। और दूसरा क्या है कि कुछ चीज़ें कहना आसान होता है, जैसे उन्होंने कहा पहले आप वहाँ पे कहाँ पे आर्टिजन्स हैं उनसे कांटेक्ट करेंगे, फिर एक्चुअली सो दैट इज़ अ होल प्रोफेशनल प्रोसेस विच इज़ क्वाइट, if I say complicated, it won't be wrong. And then I'll also add, do you also work in collaboration with government organizations plus priority? दोनों बात बताइए।
First of all, about I think in any organization like Bajana, if we do any events, it's really a project. It's not like in 2 days you will plan it out and you will able to execute. Like if we have a Diwali event upcoming, right? We have started planning out 3 months in advance, right? You have to book the DJ, you have to have the whom you are going to felicitate, you have to have the what kind of, so many, you have almost 200 lines of project plan which you need to execute in each of the projects. And then also you need to collaborate with different set of people. Bihar government, what kind of some message, and then also in the local also we are trying to engage some of the senators, we wanted to invite them. So all this is a collaborative effort. It's not done by the one person, multiple people. So almost in an event, in some of the event we have 40 to 50 people, volunteers and the executive team who works together. You assign the task and then it gets done. And coming back to some of the initiative which we are taking. So as Sushant ji mentioned, so for example, this art and craft, right? We are trying to bring whatever the goods we have in each of the event and showcase to our community, saying that, hey, here are the products. And similarly, in the tourism, what we are thinking of doing is, there are so many places in Bihar and Jharkhand where not just Bihar and Jharkhand community, but all the other community, they do visit their religious circuits, right? So we are trying to have some partnership with all the local agents and the government and showcase some packages, build some packages for in those locations, and then share with the community in US, Gujarati community, all the different community, Jain community, different community which you have. So partner with them and promote our location, saying that is good, here are the packages, you can talk to these sets of people and they will manage your, so it's really, we are taking because you cannot do everything yourself, you do have to collaborate with the other organization, and that's the path we are taking.
So I'm reminded of Prime Minister Modi's words where he says, Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, or that is the spirit actually, it is not a political statement, that is the way you live together, and when we live together and grow together and there is a sense of fulfillment in what you are doing, and I have, I'm so delighted to have Dr. Avishek with us, and I don't see many young members of Indian American community active with many organizations. So what do you think, based on your interaction with other, sort of people from your age group, they don't relate to the flow of activities in organizations like Bajana or others, and what do you think has helped you in getting into this rhythm and finding a sense of, if I say, excitement in being a part of this, and others don't find it? So if you try to read their mind, what is preventing them and what should be done in the direction where you have more youth, because we need to have that flow, and this is not just for this organization, it is for any organization. Yeah.
So when I was a child in the late 80s and 90s, India was always thought of for Indian Americans as being a backwards, poor, underdeveloped country, and it wasn't something that people would normally be proud of, right? It would just be studied as something being kind of backwards and not very advanced, and America being so far ahead of India. And as time progressed, as I was growing up, India dramatically improved in terms of global prestige, in terms of its economy, in terms of its sciences, developments, education, everything. And through repeated trips to India, I learned more about India about India's history, about Indian culture, and Indian society. And it kind of instilled a great sense of pride in being an Indian American. And so because of that, and because of those kind of close cultural ties and roots, I started thinking of myself more as an Indian American, and learning more about my heritage and culture, and thereby by participating in organizations like BANA and API. API is the kind of association for Indian doctors in America. I felt that I could learn more about our common heritage and also give back and introduce this cultural legacy to my peer group. And it continues, and it's opened up great avenues to associate with other fine people like our president and the Bajana Executive Committee, and it's really opened my eyes to more about India and Indian culture and my personal heritage. And so I'm really proud to be a member, and also to tell other people of my age group to join and to learn more about Indian culture as well.
Wonderful. I think this is a melody to our ears, what we heard from Dr. Avishek. One point which I would like to underline is having a sense of pride, and that also relates to our self-esteem as an individual, plus having a pride in our identity and a very clear sense of where we belong. So whether you come away from Bharat, but Bharat remains in your heart, and that definitely defines you wherever you go. So if that identity is something which you take pride in, it helps you grow to the fullest possible extent. And that somewhere relates to Sanjeevji, the branding. And as you have been focused on creating the kind of branding for Bajana, or so branding is not just a superficial thing which coming from the marketing corridor. Sometimes we feel that even as while I was doing MBA, our business environment professor used to say that you need to identify the needs and fulfill those needs. And the advertising principles were working on creating that product image and sort of arousing interest in people so that they feel that their self-image matches the product image. So bringing that to not-for-profit organization is very interesting. Talk to me about your thought process behind this and what creative steps you feel your team took in order for having Bajana a different kind of perception among people, let's say like Dr. Avishek or others.
Definitely. So when you talk about the brands, right? So brand as a word, it's not like brand is the derivatives of multiple different factors for any brands, I would say, or any organizations or any product which we create. So, and it comes by the value. We say always, if you see what is the brand value, right? If brand doesn't have any value, then brand does not have any significance, right? So what is the value? So value in terms of Bajana is our community, right? So community is the value. What is the value in the community? So community, the value in the community is when we are bringing so many people together, right? So our organization established in 1976. We'll be completing 50 years very soon, right? So the kind of growth we have seen, right? Again, if you talk in a personal term, we talk, okay, if you have created a brand, what is the value of your brand and what is the growth? Our growth is every day we are adding new people in our community who are coming together for a common cause to help each other and help the underprivileged. And in terms of branding, in past few years, what we have done is we have used all new technologies like Facebook, Google for non-profit, many other like CRM tools like Salesforce for non-profit. We have leveraged, even the Amazon for non-profit has a lot of things to give, like if just I'll take 1 second in that, right? So if you shop in Amazon And if you just select a particular non-profit 501c3 organization, and if you do shopping, they give you certain percentage donation to your organization. So collectively, like Facebook, Amazon, Google, Salesforce, Constant Contact, many such things we have made it together to increase the brand value of our organizations, and value is in terms of also better community reach. So because of all these new tools and technology, we are able to reach out to our community in a better way. So many people I know sometime come, oh, I've been in New Jersey for 15 years, but I never came across your organization. Like, oh, something Bajana as an organization, Bihar, Jharkhand of North America. Then I asked, like, how did you know about it? Oh, I just Googled it and I found a Facebook link. So these are the collective measures we took, and which help us to create the brand for Bajana.
Very, very good. I'm so happy to be talking to each one of them, and especially what Sanjeev said. If you are also active with any organization, I think the hints that he has given, they are worth exploring and applying. Overall, we feel excited when something grows, and especially what you are doing collectively. If you get desired results that you aspired for, it further perpetually helps you grow. And as we have moved towards the concluding part of our conversation, I'll go to my friend Sushant ji now. Sushant ji, we switch gears and we focus on Bharat, and assume that you have Bharat Mata listening to you. What would be your expression, as we say sometimes you write a love letter to, or the kind of gratefulness or the feelings that you have for Bharat?
See, I think here I want to speak in Hindi because when I say use Bharat, if you allow me, thanks, yes. Because क्योंकि I was listening to Avishek जी, तो जो उन्होंने बात बोली, जो कि भारत की सभ्यता और संस्कृति के बारे में जो उन्होंने बात बोली, कि आज भी जो एज एन इंडियन अमेरिकन हमें जो फील होता है, जो वो, और आप जिस बात को कह रहे हैं कि भारत माता यदि वो सुन रही है हमारी, तो कैसे उसमें आज के दिन हम जरूर कहेंगे कि गर्व से कहेंगे भारत जिस मुकाम पर है और जिस इस ऊंचाई पे पहुंचा हुआ है, हमें आज भी बहुत बहुत कह सकते हैं कि गर्वान्वित महसूस होती है इस बात के लिए। और हम उम्मीद करते हैं और इसी आशा के साथ में है कि अगला 50 साल जो हम लोग अभी जो आज की सरकार जो बात कर रही है कि 2047 कैसा होगा, एक विकसित देश में राज्य होगा, विकसित देश हमारा होगा भारत, उसी आशा में हम हैं। क्योंकि जिस हिसाब से लोग, हमारे लोग और हम लोग सबको, चाहे वो यहाँ हो चाहे वो बैक इन इंडिया हो, जिस हिसाब से हम लोग कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि भारत को एक नए मुकाम पे पहुँचाएँ, एक स्मॉल छोटी सी जो भी पहल आप करते हैं उसके लिए, जैसे कोशिश हमारी यही है कि आज भारत को नंबर 1 देश हम बनाएं, और हर दिशा में, चाहे वो साइंस टेक्नोलॉजी हो, चाहे वो पॉलिटिकल पावर हो, चाहे वो डेमोक्रेसी हो, चाहे वो जो कहते हैं कि लोगों के बीच में जो सौहार्द की भावना जो हो, हर मुकाम में हम कहें कि भारत जो नंबर 1।
तो बहुत नंबर 1, और 1 ही मिनट रह गया, तो 1 मिनट में मैं पहले तो अनुराग जी का, संजीव जी का, सुशांत जी का और अभिषेक जी का धन्यवाद करता हूँ। और 30 सेकंड में मैं ये कहना चाहूँगा कि जो भारत की संस्कृति वसुधैव कुटुंबकम की सीख लेकर आती है, उसके साथ साथ कहीं हमें ये भी बोध कराती है कि हम देह तक ही सीमित नहीं हैं। तो वो जो विस्तार की बात है, जिसमें हम सबको अपनाने की पात्रता रखते हैं, वो जो भारत के सांस्कृतिक मूल्य हैं, वो हम अपने जीवन में, आचरण में लाएं, आगे बढ़ें, और भारत माता की जय जयकार करना मनुष्य होने के गौरव की का सत्कार करना है। ऐसा कहते हुए मैं पुनः अपने अतिथियों का हृदय की गहराइयों से, ऐसा कहते हैं गहराइयों से मंगल कामनाओं के साथ धन्यवाद करते हुए आप सभी का आभार, और भारत माता की जय जयकार, आने वाले गणतंत्र दिवस की बधाई, अनुमति दें।